Hello and welcome to another episode of the Thriving Metabolism, where we discuss everything that impacts your hormones and metabolism so that you can take control, repair the damage and lose weight consistently without making yourself miserable in the process. Most weight loss strategies and diets actually do harm to your metabolism, resulting in further weight gain down the road, and it can be a particular challenge for women over 40 due to hormonal and metabolic changes. So it's my mission to empower you so that you and your metabolism thrives and you never have to go through diet misery again. I'm Louise Digby, registered nutritional therapist, weight loss expert, and founder of the Nourish Method to lasting fat loss. So this week, we're focusing on saying no to perfectionism, ditching that all or nothingness, no more falling off the wagon. If you're someone who finds it difficult to achieve consistency, or you find that doing all of the things is impossible to keep up with, then this is for you. Many people make the mistake of starting a health kick with a little bit too much enthusiasm. You might plan to eat more veg, cut out the junk, drink more water, do more exercise, meditate, go to bed earlier, take supplements, give up alcohol, and that's all good in theory. If you could do all of that consistently, then you'd feel great and you'd likely be healthier and you'd probably lose weight too. But the problem is changing one habit is hard, let alone trying to change 10 different things at once. And it takes time and consistency to change and cement a new habit. And if you want results that are going to last, then we need to be thinking about making changes that you're going to be able to keep in place, forever. Most people find that if they're feeling super motivated, maybe around the new year, then they can be really focused and change lots of things. But in 99% of cases, that motivation is going to wane. And you're going to end up dropping the ball on something, and then you're going to feel like a failure because you've let maybe one of the habits slip. And then there's a good chance at that point you're going to give up. I'm sure many of you who listen have found that, found yourself in a similar position to this. And it's really important to recognize that striving for perfection leads to failure. Many of us fall into the trap of thinking that we need to be perfect in our diets and exercise routines in order to see results. But the truth is, nobody's perfect, and expecting ourselves to be perfect is a surefire way to set ourselves up for disappointment. Instead of striving for perfection, opt for taking baby steps. Just change one thing at a time and cement that habit and then move on to the next thing. Progress will be slower for sure, but it's going to be far easier to maintain your progress. And that's why in the Nourish Method, we have a step-by-step system that's designed to help you take the steps that are going to give you the most bang for your buck or the most results for your efforts, one step at a time. So we need to focus on progress, not perfection. Every small step we take towards a healthier lifestyle is a step in the right direction. It's important to celebrate the small wins and use those as motivation to keep going. And we've got to move away from the all or nothing mentality. Many people fall into the trap of thinking that if they slip up on their diet or miss a workout, all is lost and, they may as well give up. But the reality is we're all human and slip-ups are inevitable. the important thing is to not let these slip-ups derail us entirely. We need to learn to forgive ourselves and to see each day as a fresh start. Just because we had a bad day yesterday doesn't mean that we have to have a bad day today. It's important to remember that every healthy choice we make is a step in the right direction, no matter how small. It's easy to overly fixate on that end goal or the destination, but it's important to fall in love with the journey. Losing weight is not a one-time event. It's a journey that requires consistency and dedication. And once you get to your goal weight, the journey isn't over. Instead of focusing solely on the end result, focus on the daily actions you need to take to get there and celebrate every small victory along the way. And don't forget to enjoy the journey. A big part of making the journey enjoyable is indulging in your favorite treats from time to time. Depriving yourself of the things that you love can lead to feelings of resentment and ultimately to giving up on your weight loss goals altogether. And that's where the 80-20 principle comes in. The 80-20 principle means that 80% of the time you eat healthy, whole foods, and 20% of the time you indulge in the foods you love. And this allows for a healthy balance between healthy eating and enjoying the foods that you crave. The key is to make sure that when you do indulge, you do it in a mindful way and in moderation. Instead of binging on a whole pot of ice cream, for example, enjoy a small scoop as a treat. This allows you to satisfy your cravings while still maintaining your overall healthy eating habits. Remember, weight loss is a journey, not a destination, and it's important to enjoy the ride. And incorporating the 80-20 principle into your lifestyle can help you achieve a healthy mindset for your weight loss journey and a healthy and balanced life overall. So go ahead and indulge in that slice of cake or that bowl of pasta, and just make sure to savor it mindfully and in moderation. And I want to talk more about eating mindfully because it's an essential component of your weight loss approach. It means being fully present and engaged in the act of eating and paying attention to the flavors, the textures, the smells of your food, and listening to your body's signals of hunger and fullness. And eating mindfully helps your body to register that you've actually had a meal, and it helps you to feel more satisfied for longer. Those who eat mindfully are less likely to overeat, and they tend to make healthier food choices overall. So let's talk about an example of what mindless eating looks like and see if you can see yourself in any of this. So let's say that you wake up early and you start your day with a breakfast of Greek yogurt and fresh fruit with some nuts and seeds. You're feeling pretty proud of yourself for starting the day off on the right foot. You pack a healthy lunch and bring some fresh veggies and hummus for a mid-afternoon snack. However, you eat your lunch quickly at your desk while catching up on emails, barely even tasting it, and you mindlessly snack on the veggies and the hummus throughout the afternoon while you're working, not even really noticing how much you're eating. After work, you hit the gym for a workout, feeling great about your healthy choices. However, when you get home, you're starving and you end up overeating dinner and consuming more than your body needs. And while you ate healthy foods and you made good food choices throughout the day, eating them mindlessly can still set you up for failure. You may end up overeating or, not feeling satisfied or, feeling like you've got more cravings or, having more unhealthy food choices later on. Instead, try to incorporate mindful eating practices into your day when you're eating healthy foods. And whether you're eating healthy foods or unhealthy foods, you want to be mindful about it. And that's going to help you to move away from this all or nothing approach, because you're going to be feeling more satisfied from what you're eating. So here are a few tips for eating mindfully. Firstly, slow down. Take your time when eating and savor each bite. Put your fork down between bites if that helps you slow down. Take a few deep breaths to help you slow down. Secondly, eliminate distractions. Avoid eating while watching TV or scrolling through your phone. Instead, sit down at a table and focus solely on your meal. Next, check in with your body. Before you start eating, ask yourself if you're truly hungry or if you're eating out of boredom or stress. And during the meal, check in with your body periodically to see if you're still hungry or if you're feeling full. Make sure you enjoy the flavours. Take time to savour the flavours and the textures of your food. Pay attention to the colours, the aromas, the spices, and really enjoy the experience of eating. And next, practice gratitude. Take a moment before you start eating to express gratitude for the effort that went into preparing it. By eating mindfully, you'll be able to tune in with your body's needs, and you'll be less likely to overeat or make unhealthy food choices. Mindful eating also helps you to better appreciate and enjoy your food, leading to more satisfaction and fulfillment from your meals. Now remember, healthy eating is not just about what you eat, it's about how you eat, and incorporating mindful eating practices into your daily routine can help you cultivate a healthy mindset for weight loss and for a more enjoyable and fulfilling relationship with food. And this is especially important when you're having an indulgence. Make sure you savor it, eat it slowly, smell it, notice how it makes you feel. You'll be less likely to binge on it if you actually allow yourself to register it and taste it, rather than trying to, suppress that guiltiness that you might feel about eating it. It's important to remember that weight loss is not just about diet and exercise. It's about taking care of yourself holistically. And this means getting enough sleep and managing stress and taking time for self-care. When we take care of ourselves in all areas of our lives, we set ourselves up for success in our weight loss journey. Okay, now it's time for my favourite fact from the past week. And this week I thought I'd draw on findings from the Glucose Goddess. One of my listeners asked me to do an episode about her, but I thought it would fit in nicely with my fact of the week instead. So, my fact is this: having apple cider vinegar in water before meals encourages weight loss. So this is one of the Glucose Goddess's big findings. Well, not findings exactly, because this is something that we've known about for a long time, but she's done some really cool stuff using continuous glucose monitors to show the effect of taking apple cider vinegar before different foods and different meals. So let me start from the beginning. The Glucose Goddess is on Instagram and probably Facebook as well. And if you follow her, you'll see all the fun stuff that she does. Mainly, she uses a glucose monitor, one of the ones that you wear for a week, and it continuously measures your glucose levels. And by doing this, it's allowed her to get loads of data on different food and combinations of foods and exercises, and how these things impact blood sugar levels. And it's great information because it really proves what me and pretty much all other nutritional therapists have been talking about for years, which is that it's not just about calories. What you eat and when you eat impact your blood sugar balance. And, it's important because when your blood sugars are too high, you come out of fat burning mode and you start burning sugars instead. So the apple cider vinegar, it contains acetic acid, and this helps to reduce the rise in blood sugars after eating sweet or carby things. That doesn't mean that you can go away and, just eat loads of sugar and carby things all the time, but it means that when you are having indulgences, having apple cider vinegar beforehand will help you to get back into fat burning mode more quickly. So definitely check her out. It's very interesting stuff, and you'll come away with a few hacks that will help you to keep your blood sugars balanced. And when we work with clients, we are always starting with blood sugars. So this is a really good place to start and a good foundation to get in place before you get on to some of the more targeted stuff to help you to lose weight. So I've got a letter from a listener, and let me just get up on my screen. Okay, so I recently found your podcast and I'm learning lots, so thank you. You mentioned antibiotics and gut health in one of your podcasts. I get a recurring water infection which has been investigated extensively and resulted in the specialist allowing me to self-medicate with antibiotics to keep it at bay as and when I need it. I was hospitalised in 2019 with disrupted bloods and a severe water infection and BV, where I was put on an antibiotic drip. I've basically been on and off them ever since. I'm worried about my gut and I eat healthily, take supplements, etc. But is it all a waste of time if I have bad nutrient absorption? I've put on 2 stone, I'm 45 and started on HRT 4 months ago. I don't know what to do about the recurring infections. I stopped drinking alcohol 4 months ago too, which had greatly improved my mood and productivity, so much so that I've been able to come off antidepressants. I thought the water infections might get better as I'm much more hydrated and I'm looking after myself so much more, but they unfortunately haven't. It's debilitating and really getting me down. The weight gain is hard too. Any advice would be amazing. I'm also unable to take pro and prebiotics as they seem to give me thrush. Okay, gosh, I really feel for you. It sounds like this has been really impacting your quality of life. And we've got a bit of a vicious cycle going on here because water infections typically stem from gut health. I've worked with lots of women who have had this problem, and the key is to improve your gut health, and also reducing inflammation in the body is important too. The trouble is, the antibiotics that you need to treat the infection, they further the imbalances in your gut, making you even more susceptible to infection. And we also know that antibiotics increase the likelihood of weight gain because of how they disrupt gut bacteria. So the issues are likely linked. And, as you are also prone to thrush, you probably have a yeast overgrowth in your gut too. Though it's very strange that probiotics give you thrush because they're actually often used to treat yeast infections. So I'm not sure why that would be happening. So you're definitely right to be thinking about gut health. I would say the main thing that you can do is focus on getting lots of different plant-based foods into your diet so that you're getting lots of different fibers and flavonoids to feed your good bacteria. So focus on different coloured fruits and vegetables and also lots of different types of plant foods. So from fruits and vegetables and all their different types to nuts and seeds and beans and pulses, spices and herbs, whatever you can tolerate. Lots of variety is going to help to keep your gut bacteria a little bit more diverse. I would also consider looking at taking D-mannose and a cranberry extract, which are amazing for treating and preventing bladder infections. And that might help you to have fewer infections, which will hopefully mean fewer courses of antibiotics as well. Please don't buy cranberry juice and drink that. That is one of the worst recommendations. Whilst the cranberry part of it is great, the sugar in the juice is feeding the yeast or the bacterial infection. So cranberry extracts in a supplement form, great. Cranberry juice, not great. Otherwise, I would say that this is quite a complex case and there is some more targeted gut work required that I can't safely advise on without knowing much more. So ping me another email if you would like to explore working with us so that we can take a holistic whole body approach to addressing these concerns fully. But try what I've recommended as well, and I hope that helps you to at least reduce the amount of infections that you're having and start to restore your gut bacteria. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you'd like to talk to me about anything that I've discussed in this episode, you can reach me on Facebook and Instagram by searching @LouiseDigby Nutrition, or you can email me with your question to be answered on the podcast. I've had a few questions come in recently, so if it's been a couple of weeks since you emailed and you've not had your question answered, don't worry, you're on the list and I'm just going through them one by one. If you're enjoying this podcast, please head to Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts, click follow and leave a review. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.